They don't want to tell you guys the truth about the ethnic Black American in the Supreme Court ruling and the Supreme Court deliberations that are going on right now. And so they're keeping it very quiet. They keep bringing up, I think it's Wong versus Ark or whatever. I forgot his name. They keep bringing that up because that's a safer topic, because they don't want us to know how much we're part of this Constitution, because we are the only other group besides the non-melanated that are embedded in America, like in the Constitution. Everybody else who's not us is not really welcome here. And they've all come through us. They don't want us to know that they have every every melanated immigrant who's come here, Asian, African, Caribbean, Hispanic, whatever, has come here by using us, the ethnic Black American, as precedent from the Constitution. So let me break it down. So I thought they were deliberating over whether the fact that the Constitution, like birthright citizenship, was originally for the ethnic Black American. And so they were fighting with the Supreme Court to be able to deport people based on that. But that's really not what's going on. It's actually deeper, y'all. So Trump is not arguing about that. Trump is saying that's what it is. Trump is saying we can deport whoever we want to deport who's a child of non-citizens and people on visas, because they're not citizens, because that rule of law that you guys have been using for a century or so for immigration it's null and void, because it's only for ethnic Black Americans. It was only for the children of slaves. It is not for any of these people that you guys keep letting in. You keep using this law, and then you're manipulating it, and you're applying it to a situation that it doesn't apply to. So Trump is like, I'm not even going to argue about that, because that's what the law was for. So there's no need to argue. Y'all need to get these quote unquote anchor babies out of here, and I'm going to do it. What he's fighting for is that the federal judges are ruling it unconstitutional in different places. They're saying, hey, this is unconstitutional. The precedent has been set that all these people have been having these anchor babies, and you can't now enforce this rule. And Trump's people are saying, the president is enacting a constitutional amendment. We are in the Constitution, y'all. We are in the Constitution, is saying this constitutional amendment was for the ethnic Black American, and nobody is arguing with that. They can't, because if you have any law degree, if you're a judge worth your salt, that's a fact. What it seems like they're arguing about is that if Trump makes an executive decision, he's saying, why do these lesser judges in these different courts and circuits and districts can overturn my decision by ruling it unconstitutional, when I'm saying as president, it is constitutional, and this is the executive order. And he's tired of these federal judges overruling and calling some of his actions unconstitutional, and then he can't do what he really wants to do. So what they're fighting for is who has more power, the federal judges or the president. So that's what's going on. Trump is already operating on the fact that nobody who is if you're not ethnic Black American in this country, and you came here and you are not a citizen or a legal resident of this country, your kids are no longer citizens, because birthright citizenship was only for ethnic Black Americans, the children of slaves. It was not for anybody else. Now the Ark Wong or whatever, so this is different, because then people try to bring it up and say, oh, well, he proved it was different. No, he didn't. That they're bringing up that court of law, and they're bringing that up because it's safer. They don't want to talk about the fact that Trump is already saying, yeah, if y'all not Black American, you can't stay here if you have a baby here and you're not a citizen. So the Wong versus Ark, or look it up, correct me in the comments. That was about the fact that, so this child was born in America. His parents were still Chinese citizens. And people bring that up like, well, his parents were Chinese citizens, and they had a kid, and so that reset the precedent. They're saying that yes, ethnic Black Americans set the first precedence of what birthright citizenship made. But there's arguing that Wong versus Ark expanded that because he was a Chinese born child. He sued, I think, the federal government because they tried to say he was a citizen. And he's like, I'm a citizen. My parents were here and I was born here. But what Trump's attorneys are saying is that the most important piece of that is domicility or domicile. The fact that his parents, Wong or whoever's parents, were legal residents of America when they had him. They weren't illegal. They weren't on a visa. They weren't visiting. They were legal residents of this country when they had that boy. And so that's why he's a citizen. So the left, I'm not a Republican or Democrat, but the left is trying to twist it around. I'm ethnocentric. I'm not a leftist. I'm ethnocentric. Whatever is going to benefit my community is what I'm going to push. So Trump is just, they're like really arguing the law. Like people want to make it seem like Trump is just bringing up stuff. He's not. He's arguing the law. They're both arguing the law. Like the Dems are basically saying the precedent has been set by actions. And Trump's lawyer is saying it doesn't matter about the actions because the law was intended for this. And you guys are basically operating outside of the law. And I'm going to continue to do me. However, I don't want these judges to overturn the decisions I'm making as president. So that's what's going on. The ethnic Black Americans set the precedent for birthright citizenship, but it was only for them. Wong Ark came along and then he said, well, I'm a citizen. And he reset it by saying my parents were legal residents and then they had me. So I'm a citizen. Trump's people are saying, listen, the only people that were really supposed to be in this country for birthright citizenships are ethnic Black Americans. When Wong Ark came, they adjusted and said, okay, hey, your parents were legal residents. So, and they had you here. So yes, we'll have to begrudgingly accept that you're a citizen because of the Chinese Exclusion Act. The Chinese could not be citizens or something like that. Like look it up because I'm kind of winging it there. But they had a Chinese Exclusion Act. And I think the Chinese couldn't even be citizens at that time. We were the only ones who could be citizens. The Chinese could not be citizens. Anybody who was non-white could not be a citizen in this country. And of course, the Native Americans never really, I think they had their reservations. So they didn't really, the Mexicans who were absorbed into Texas and Utah at the time, like they were absorbed into, once the war ended, they were absorbed into citizenship by a treaty, not the Constitution. They were indirectly became citizens through the Constitution through a treaty. We as ethnic Black Americans are the only ethnic group, and I can't say for the Native Americans for sure, but I know they won the reservation. So I don't even know if they had to be citizens. They're Native Siberian Americans. So, who's going to try to be like, y'all have to apply for citizenship? So ethnic Black Americans were the only ones written it directly into the Constitution for certain rights. Everybody else had to fight for those or piggyback off of our constitutional rights to expand it for themselves. And they are really trying to hide this. The news keeps talking about Wong and Ark, Trump, judges, all this stuff, but they're hiding the crux and the fruit of the argument, which is the fact that birthright citizenship was only intended for the ethnic Black American. Ever since that moment, anything else that has been changed because of that or adjusted has just been an expansion on that. And now Trump is saying that expansion was not lawful, and that he wants to go back to the original intent of it. And if they're going to have to uphold Wong and Ark, then they want it only to be legal residents or citizens that can have a child that is a birthright citizen, not a child born to parents who are illegal or visiting or on a visa. Okay, I hope this explains it. But y'all, this is just very illuminating for us as a group. And this is why lineage is so important, and us reclaiming our lineage, reclaiming who we are, understanding our ethnic group, insulating and gatekeeping is so important. Because these people, I don't care how much y'all think everybody's your friend, they're not. And they're very competitive with us. They're very jealous, and they don't want us to have this kind of power and influence and be this deeply rooted into American law. So Yeah.
And that brings us to the end of this video. Now listen, this topic around birthright citizenship is layered, controversial, and long overdue for a real conversation, especially among Black Americans, specifically descendants of American slavery. I had a sister break this down recently, and I have to say, I am 100% with her. I agree with her. Birthright citizenship, as it was originally intended, was meant to apply to the formerly enslaved and their descendants. And that is Black Americans, not just anybody who manages to make it to American soil and have a baby. And you know what? She said something that really hit me. She said they are manipulating the law and using it for the wrong reasons. And she's absolutely right. Think about this. There are people, yes, as in actual people who fly into the United States just to give birth to their child so that they can have an American citizenship. And I kid you not. I know people personally, especially from Africa, who do this just because they can afford it, just because they can afford to. And that's not an exaggeration. And I'm not trying to be a pick-me, that's just the truth. And if you ask me, it's wrong in every way you can think of it. Imagine you have a family that has struggled, gone through generations of hardship, finally starts to see some relief, and then someone who's never shared that struggle pops up out of nowhere and says, hey, I'm family too. I deserve what you fought for. That's not fair, right? That's not justice. That's not what birthright citizenship was created for. And now we are seeing Trump say something that's raising a lot of eyebrows. And I gotta admit, I agree with him on this. He's saying that birthright citizenship should be specifically for descendants of American slaves. And they are, yes. And whether you like him or not, this one, he's got a point. It's not wrong. Please don't come for me. I'm just speaking my mind. Or you can call my mind, I don't know, whatever. It makes sense when you look at the historical and legal context. Because let's be real. Maybe this is why this one, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. Maybe this is why reparations are constantly being delayed or dismissed. Maybe this is why Black Americans, as descendants of American slavery, are being pushed aside, because everybody wants to be Black American. Any Black person who travels to America wants to be Black American. Everybody wants to claim the struggle, the culture, the benefits, but not the burden, not the history, not the generational trauma. So maybe, just maybe, ending birthright citizenship, or at least tightening it, would mean stopping the loopholes, stopping people from flying in just to give birth and collect government benefits that were never meant for them in the first place. Yeah. So maybe if we look at it, if we look at it in that direction, maybe tightening it a little bit, I know this conversation is not easy. It's heavy, and it might even make some people uncomfortable, but I'm just sharing what I feel. And I truly believe that the sister, this one in the video, in the clip, mentioned a lot of facts. And on this one, I am standing with her and with Trump, of course. Please don't come for me. Because I'm just trying to protect, what belongs to you guys, as somebody who's trying to sneak into being a Black American as well. I'm just joking. Let me know what you guys think about this video in the comments section down below. Do you agree with what the sister is saying? Do you disagree? Let's talk about it. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And if you found this video insightful, make sure you turn on that notification bell, because I'm going to be bringing you guys more content like this. I'll definitely see you in my next video. Please stay peaceful.